Much love and many blessings. Now we're moving on to the sign of Taurus for the Pisces season and the wisdom that Spirit is bringing to us. So when I was channeling the message, Spirit brought up the elements of personal boundaries and the Six of Swords. This is very fitting because personal boundaries is resonating at the Manipura or the solar plexus, which is going to be located at our stomach, or for women, our womb, which is our creative center, it's our digestive center. It's also the area where we process things and have we break things down. So this is where we create, in essence, an assertiveness. We decide where things go. We create choices. With personal boundaries showing up, this is speaking to: are we honoring ourselves? Are we empowering ourselves through the powers of choice and assertiveness, and making authentic choices versus inauthentic choices that keep us in karmic cycles? What we're doing right now liberating us? So Taurus, with my earthy sign, especially ruled by Venus, and Venus being in the sign of Aquarius in this time, may be creating some interesting dynamics to where your love and emotional interest may be seemingly upstarting and dropping off unexpectedly, or just abruptly changing, especially with Uranus being in Taurus and affecting the finances. Usually when your home and your love life is adjusting, those are things that you want to have solidarity. So this may be creating a space where you're asking yourself, what can I get to improve the state of my life? This particular rendition with the Tarot of the Divine, with the Six of Swords, is very fitting because it looks like this is Perseus and his mother. And if you're familiar with the story of Perseus, it was a pretty gruesome, like, I don't remember the specific details, but I do remember that Perseus does go on to fight Medusa. But in the beginning, he damn near almost died, and like he had to leave where he was, and his mother had to leave where they were for a much better home. So when the Six of Swords shows up, this is also letting us know that, hey, the space that we're in, we want to move to a better space. Because anytime we see the Six of Swords, it's dealing with, where are my thoughts taking me? Where I'm currently at is not where I want to be. And I want to get to where the grass is greener, where there's more abundance, where I heard that the road is paved with gold. I want to go somewhere where my boundaries and what it is that I want for myself is respected, and my space is safe for me to be who I authentically want to be. So for Taurus, a lot of what Spirit is asking you during this time is, what is it that you can leave behind, and what are you still holding on to? And also, what quality of energy and what sensations take place when you move from where you currently are? What would you leave behind? What feelings, sensations, and experiences would stop happening, both good and bad, if you left where you currently were for somewhere better, or just the state that you have in your mind? What would you be leaving behind, and what would that create for you? Six of Swords is also the confirmation of an energy of two things. One, it speaks of the retrograde, because when Six of Swords comes up, from an astrological standpoint, it can be referencing the retrograde, or just the wisdoms of things that you thought, perceptions and energies that you had wrapped up. When six comes up, it's after a transition. So when the six comes up, it's finding the beauty or finding the things that are of value. So we have Demeter coming up, and she's speaking of the message of nurture or nurturing, and it's actually very fitting that Demeter is coming up, because I think on American Gods, Wednesday is like literally in the process of like negotiating with like her secretaries, and like she won't even see him face to face in person. So it is kind of fitting that Demeter is coming up right now, and just dealing with the goddess of nurturing. This is really bringing out the aspects of asking us to bring awareness to ourselves if we're going to take action, if we're going to move in such a way that takes us from where we are. It needs to be for our embetterment. It needs to be for our improvement. It needs to be for an aspect that brings out our greatest good, that gives us something that we can actually harvest, that gives you some type of substance. So the actions being taken need to be leading you somewhere that not only remind you of where you're coming from, but take you to more of what it is that you're desiring. If the end result is not bringing fulfillment or not bringing overall nourishment or contentment, then it's not for you. So a lot of what's going on during this time, especially with Demeter coming up, is asking you to look at the boundaries or the lack of boundaries that you may be having within your emotional space. This may be a very weird time for you because you don't, as Taurus, you don't necessarily deal the best with emotions, even on a good day. A lot of times the matters that may be really pressing you, you don't necessarily take head on. You may leave them, or you can have a tendency to either be stubborn in your direction as far as how you're approaching them, or you may throw yourself into work that is everything but the thing that you need to be addressing. So during this time, it's also important to make sure that the choices and the actions that you're taking are creating a new foundation, because this Aquarius and Venus energy can be a little misconstrued or throwing you off, especially when your sign that operates best, when you have solidarity in the things such as finances and your love life. Those aren't things that you generally like to play with. So this is also a call for you to bring awareness to where you're at and how you can improve or create more of that quality. It's asking you to look at the direction, because the Six of Swords is a forward direction, and are my thoughts taking me towards what it is I desire? So this is also an awareness, especially within the Pisces season, bringing on those subtleties of your emotions. Sometimes you may not want to face those emotions or those uncomfortable sensations, but this is asking you to bring awareness to where you're experiencing those sensations the most and where you feel the most hypersensitive. As you draw your divine breath this Pisces season, and as you start to flow, the bull has a tendency to not really budge or to course correct unless it truly wants to. So you're finding yourself as a bull in water, and you're going to have to pay attention to things that you're not normally used to. You're going to have to understand the flow of the current, understand what is this fucking koi fish doing in this pond. I don't normally pay attention to koi fish. I usually see red, I move with it. I usually see money, I move with it. I usually see my feelings or feeling my feelings, and I move in that direction. But no, for some reason this doesn't seem to be working the same way now. Now I feel this overwhelm, this residual energy, this kinetic energy that's coming from my physical action, this kinetic energy that when I take action, I feel something else catch up with me. Something else is either coming with me, or there's a momentum that's flowing with me as I take action. So you're being called to empower yourself with this energy and decide how you can fortify yourself in your defenses, how you can bolster your own. In this, what comes to my mind is the divine masculine. How you can nurture yourself and really empower that energy to create this confidence within. Nurture, another message from Spirit, seeing the nurture and seeing personal boundaries show up makes me continue to bring awareness to my stomach, continue to bring awareness to my solar plexus. It's calling you to take a divine breath, to take a deep breath, to bring that fire energy out, to activate that energy so that you can ignite the spark for yourself and really create the true directions that you are trying to embody during this time. As you take your divine breath during this Pisces season, ask yourself how you can truly empower yourself and make confident, solid choices. Create your mantras. If you feel shaky during this time or are uncertain about the flow or the current that you're taking, ask yourself what it is that's causing fear and uncertainty, and what it is that can bring more nurturing to you. Is this power within yourself, or is it someone else that provides that support system that honors your authenticity? Whatever that thing may be or that energy is, you need to create more of it and move with more of that momentum. Everything that you desire is available to you. Just listen to your gut instinct. This is also a call as well to be mindful that if you're feeling some uncertainties during your forward direction during this time, to make an adjustment to your diet, because you are what you eat. And if you're eating foods, you're eating chickens that are cooped up in prisons that are uncertain about what's going to happen next, then you're going to eat uncertainty, and you're going to take uncertainty and digest uncertainty within your own direction. You're eating food that don't know where it's going, don't know what's about to happen to it, and you don't know where you're about to go next. So you need to empower yourself with more life food. This is a call as well to take account of personal boundaries of the type of vibrational food that's going within to your diet. What are you digesting? What are you taking in? What quality of people are you taking in? What quality of energy are you taking in? And how is it being digested and processed? Ask yourself these questions and meditate on this Pisces season. Much love and many blessings, and Ashe.